Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 1st of November 2021, and the time now is 6:16 a.m. Well, our topic today is Malaysia versus Singapore. Is living in Malaysia really cheaper? Yeah, this is a video review. All right, so before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. All right, so in this video, it compares about the price between many things. Uh, those expenses which can be which can be applied on most of the people, I think. And for example, there are foods, grocery, house, rental, car, transportation, and so on in the video, and it compares the price, the cost in Singapore and Malaysia. Yep, and to be frank, it did surprise me. Um, on which part on the actually on the house that part, and then also um, the food and grocery. Yeah, I know that in Singapore it can be lower, but yeah, I couldn't imagine it. It actually differs. Has such a big difference. Yep, and then yeah, so it compares like in Malaysia, it is really kind of um, uh, actually is not better off compared with Singapore. And Singapore actually they get better things, better services, and then also that country is kind of like safer, and then is more efficient. Yep, and also in the video it mentions kind of like he has a friend. Yeah, the YouTuber has a friend, and then move to the other state. It is like from Kuala Lumpur to Perlis or to Kedah, I forgot. Yeah, and it deals with the income and also the expenses, right? And then something like even though maybe living in Kuala Lumpur, you may earn more, but at the same time, your expenses is high, and maybe moving to the other place, like you can maybe you earn a little bit lower, and but your expenses can be also lower, and you have much savings. Yep, and this is also something we did we did we did talk about in the previous conversation. Like we always have the choice to move. Yeah, and then also expenses is one of the key. Yeah, when talking about managing our money. Yep, and uh, after watching the video, I think there is a key. Instead of it is not the expenses. Yeah, other than that, we have one more key, and the key here is actually kind of a mental thing, and then related to our mentality, which is the ability to adapt to a new environment. Yeah, we can call this adaptability. I think this is quite important when we talk about whether we want to uh, compare, we want to consider different location, consider different places, and then different expenses, different income. Adaptability is something like uh, firstly you need to have this thing. Yeah, if you don't have the ability to adapt to a new environment, maybe you don't feel like I need to do that. Yeah, maybe you feel like it is okay that I live here, and I already get used to the place that I live, something like that. So adaptability, I think, is one of the key for us uh, to consider. And also in the video, the speaker said that he liked the culture here, in Malaysia, even though in the comparison it seems like Kuala Lumpur is not so favorable. And uh, so in his explanation, in his reason, also I think yeah there are other things to consider like those kind of mental costs, and yeah, but I think the big portion of here is actually the adaptability. Yeah, we move to other places, and then we work, we have income, we have expenses. But actually, for human, I think um, yeah. Beside this, you need to also like couldn't make yourself too torturing, too difficult in terms of the mental cost. So adaptability, I think, yeah, is quite important. Yep. So these are my sharings today.
How do you define adaptability?
Yeah, adaptability. Yeah, it's like whether you can adapt to a new environment. Yeah, and then you can make friends, and then you can accept new changes.
How do you
Yeah.
know you can adapt? How can you know whether you can adapt a new environment, changes, or accept a new changes?
Um. Yeah. I think this can be like basically it's different. It differ. It differ from people to people. Some people can adapt to new environment, new culture, new friends more easily than others.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. The adaptability differ from people to people, but what I want to ask is how do you know? How do you know the degree of adaptability of yourself?
Mm.
If
Yep.
you
Yeah, it's difficult to know the degree, but firstly, if we consider like right now, if you have uh, the other choices, which is the other location, maybe other countries or other state, and then you can get like greater savings. Yeah, let's say we just compare the saving parts, and then what's your feeling if you choose to move there? Yeah, if you kind of like being reluctant, I think most of the people will have this kind of feeling, but to what degree you don't want to move there? Yeah, I think maybe this is something like a way to judge it.
hmm, can you repeat the point again? I'm not very clear about that.
Oh, um, yeah, it is like I said, if right now, imagine that there is a place, let's say in other country or other state, which is quite far away from the place that you live, and then uh, you know that definitely maybe you can get a job for sure there, and then you know the salary, and then you get somebody give you this offer, and whether you want to accept, and then after your calculation, you found that compare with the income and the expenses, if that place is better off, and would you want to move to that place? And then in I think in your mind, maybe it must have the feeling of reluctant, because you are already get used to the place that you are, and the feeling of reluctant, I think is the way to judge whether you have the what degree you can adapt to a new place. If you're reluctant, the feeling of reluctant is very high, then maybe that is the first signal of the adaptability.
Mm, this is quite confused to me about the definition of the adaptability of yours. It seems like
Mm.
to me, acceptability is not adaptability. If I check the dictionary, the
Mm.
definition of adaptability
Yeah.
is kind of like okay, okay, I haven't go to the page, but to me, it's kind of like whether you are able to suit the new change, suit the new environment.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is a definition I found. Okay. Adaptability is a soft skill that means being able to rapidly learn new skill and behaviors in response to change circumstances. Yeah.
Mm.
So this is kind of like when you go to new place or when you go to a new environment, you change
Yeah.
your job, you you uh you change your locations or anything else. And if you have high degree of adaptabilities, which is a soft skill, and
Mm.
you are able to rapidly learn the new skill and behavior and respond to the changing circumstances. So you are able to learn the new thing fast in
Mm.
order to suit the new changes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think your definition is more correct, and my definition is kind of like uh it's more about willingness, I think.
Okay, and
Mm.
I look at the acceptabilities. The okay, the definition of acceptability is acceptabilities is a characteristics of the things being subject to to acceptance for some purpose. Another definition is the quality of being accepted. Another is the quality of being tolerated or allowed. Yeah, so I think something that you mentioned here is acceptability, is not adaptability.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So in Chinese, adaptability is called 适应度. Yeah,
Mm.
acceptability is 接受度, something like that.
Mm.
And what
Yeah.
you mentioned just now is like, um, yeah, you did some calculation and you found that yeah, the income should far greater than spending, and you will save much more money if you work in another country or in another state. But
Mm.
but whether you want to go or not, you haven't been there. Mm. You're not sure whether you can you're not sure you can uh suit the change or not. But you just stay at the old location and you think, yeah, whether I want to go or not. This is uh you you, you haven't been the place, so there's no uh room for you to adapt a new thing, to adapt a
Mm.
new. It's just about the acceptance.
Yeah.
Whether
Right.
you accept, whether you kind of like willing to give a try and go to there. Yeah, so this is acceptability.
Mm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But if changing the word, yeah, I know adaptability is kind of like this is not our fault. It's not our fault. Yeah, because we cannot adapt. So the adaptability differ from people to people, and it also uh depend on the culture, uh how big the culture is, and we already stay in the old culture for a long time, so we already adapt. Uh, we already adapt. We already get used to the old thing, and if we want to make a change, it is really hard, and maybe you couldn't do well. So this is kind of like you push you think uh this is the external problem. So this is not the problems come from ourselves. So it's not our problem. Kind of like this. And how about acceptability? If you change the words, will you think, yeah, this is a little bit like kind of like become I don't know how to describe the vocab, which is a little bit weak. yeah, the opposite of the strong, which is the 懦弱. Okay,
Mm.
yeah. I'm not sure. Whether you. I'm not sure whether you have the uh, similar feeling as me. Mm.
Mm. Yeah, for this part, to me, just now you say that adaptability is more about the maybe the factor coming from external. So for acceptability, it is more from internal, right? And to me, I feel like it is more about mental. Yeah,
Mm.
if you want to say it is it can the word weak. Yeah, I think
Coward. Yeah, another term is coward.
yeah, coward. And
Coward.
yeah, I think it can be because it is from our inside.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. So if people yeah, just now you make the whole point, and if you talk about adaptability, mm, I think I can accept the point. Sorry, I couldn't say in this way. What I want to say is, if you mention about adaptability, I think uh I have higher degree. I have higher degree of the of the 认同. Okay,
Okay.
which is
Approval.
not approval, acknowledgements, or
Oh.
maybe yeah, something like I can understand. I can
Mm.
understand this. Mm. And but if you talk about the accept acceptability, and yeah, I still can understand, but the degree is much lesser than the adaptability. If you change the term, you change the vocab.
Mm.
Mm, yeah, and yeah, of course, the adaptability uh it also can come from mental. Yeah, for example, you already get used to your old culture, and you can't kind of like uh be
Not
very
willing to make a change.
not not willing. Not willing is about acceptability. We are talking adaptability.
Mm.
Mm. So adaptability, it can be mental. Okay, and it for example, you already get used to your old culture, and you are not very comfortable to the new change. But the difference between adapt, adapt and accept is, adapt means you already move forward, you already take actions, and you already try. Maybe for 1 month, maybe for 2 months, maybe for a whole year, but you still can't get used to it. This is called adapt.
Mm.
But how about accept? Accept is you didn't try, you didn't take action. Yeah, you just sit in your bedroom and think, yeah, I think I couldn't go to Singapore to work. I think I couldn't go to another state to work. I think I
Mm.
change the job. Mm.
Yeah.
This is a difference between adapt and accept.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So adapt is yeah. Can we say that adapt is more towards ability and accept is more towards your mental.
Cannot be like that, because adapt can also be mental. Uh,
Oh yeah.
you mentioned the point, right?
Mm.
Mm. If you want to differentiate, I would say the difference is the actions. Accept, you
Mm.
didn't take action.
Yep. Yep.
Adapt, you already take actions. Mm. And both can be learned. You can learn to accept new things. Yeah, right. You can also learn to adapt new changes.
Mm. Yep.
Mm. Now, so both also can be learned. Nothing fixed. Nothing bonds with your genes. I think maybe the starting point uh upon. with your genes, but you can change it. You can
Mm.
improve it.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and also people talk about adapt. They are willing to try, and uh, after try, they know whether they can adapt it or not, or they can accept the changes or not. They 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 do action before they judge whether uh they can fully accept or not. Yeah, of course, every people have something that they don't want to accept. Yeah, but for some people, they are more willing to try. And of course, after try, you may find that this is not the cup of tea.
Mm.
This is not the cup of the tea. And but other people is more more willing to think rather than try. Mm. And they didn't try, and then they think everything is not suitable for him or for her.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference. The difference here is the actions. Mm. And you talk about why is a real accept, acceptance, why is a real feeling of acceptance, or why is a real sense of acceptance? Do you think which party have higher uh have higher degree of acceptance which grounded in reality? I think the first one, the people who try and then found that something is not suitable for him and they
Mm.
don't want to do it anymore.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's the people uh who not only accept at the first time and also adapt. Yeah, and try to see whether it suit uh his or her wants or needs. Yeah, if this is something that's uh not your want, not some is something that you don't want to do in your life, or you have other things, other preferable things that you want to do in your life, and then you choose other things. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and about the people, quote unquote accept type people, and they don't try. How can they know whether they can really like the thing? They really love the thing. They don't know because they are not willing to try. Mm. They just get used to their comfort into their comfortable zones. They
Mm.
don't, they don't try new things. Yeah, and they don't and they think they are living quite well, but they don't know they can be better. They can be happier. They can be uh maybe live longer. They get used to it, to their they get used uh they get used of their old situation.
Mm. Yep.
Mm. Yeah, and it can apply anywhere. For example, meditation. For example, reading book. For example, exercise.
Oh, do you mean habits? Forming a new habit?
No, I mean okay. Do you think is there any people not willing to try to do exercise, not willing to try meditation, not willing to try to read the book?
Um, I think more or less they did try, but they give up quite easily.
Mm, yeah, they didn't spend enough time to try in trying.
Mm.
They didn't spend enough time to do it. To see the result. Mm. Yeah, so this is also uh something that I want to say, which is the acceptability can also apply. I mean, these two ideas, adaptability and acceptability, can apply in anywhere, in every concept. Yeah, it's not just the moving location.
Mm.
For example, people say I don't like meditation, but they have no experience of doing meditation.
Yeah, acceptability.
Mm, yeah. So this is not about adaptability. They just don't willing to try. This is not the they find this is not it's not for him or her.
Mm.
Mm, yeah. For example, exercise, you can choose a lot of exercise. For example, yeah, even though you don't like exercise, you can do gymming. Yeah. You don't like jogging, you don't like swimming, you don't like though uh calorie burning uh exercise, and you can choose maybe gymming. Yeah, doing a workout, or maybe you can choose doing yoga.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. So you haven't tried, but you say exercise is not suitable for you because your bone is not good, uh, uh, your your body coordination is not good, and uh, you don't want to build muscle. Yeah, for some girls, they'll think like that. I don't want to build muscle,
Mm.
and I don't want to look uh strong, or maybe
Yeah.
yeah
Uh,
mm,
Muscular.
yeah mm, yeah. So mm, yeah, or maybe yeah, some people will even say like mm, my performance, my body performance is not good. Yeah, and you can hear people saying like this. Mm, they don't do exercise because they think their body performance is not good. Mm,
Do you mean that something like they feel like they don't have the exercise kind of gene in their body?
maybe they don't have they don't have the energy, they don't have the ability to do exercise.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, if we talk something that we familiar, we think this is a good thing for us. We will kind of like can't imaginable. Yeah, it's unimaginable. It is so funny. Mm. But
Mm.
they are the same thing. Mm. It's also about the acceptability.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. And if somebody try meditation and maybe he feel like, oh, I couldn't focus during meditation, and maybe meditation is so boring, and this is for meditation, and for exercise maybe someone did try, but he found that maybe he wasn't doing good, and maybe he felt tired after exercise. He don't like the feeling. So can that be adaptability?
It 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 actually it actually need to uh move to a higher level. This is a high level questions,
Oh.
because what you want from the exercise,
Hmm.
you need to know the know why of doing the some of doing a particular thing. If you do exercise because other people also doing exercise, if you do exercise because other people ask you to do exercise, then of course you'll feel tired. You need something like the cost and benefit. Mm. If you think if you think your body performance become better, your body coordination become better, and then your body become healthier, and this is not the benefits you want. What you want is feel relaxed. Yeah. So the cost must greater than the benefit, because both
Hmm.
of them in short term it is a mental. You only can see you only can see the real uh physical benefit in long term.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and and okay, another thing is
Hmm.
when we talk about adaptability, actually human is very good at actually human is very good at adapt a new thing. Yeah, if throw you into another country without your consensus, and yeah, we just kind of like kidnap you and then throw you into another country. And in the country, you are not familiar with the new language. Do you think you can survive in that country? Most of people think they can't.
Mm.
But a majority of them can survive.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just survive, not living very well. Yeah,
Mm.
and maybe after 3 months, after 6 months, you can understand the language, the new language. And
Mm.
this also yeah some other people also say, yeah, for example, if you really want to learn English well, and you move you move to Western country, for example, you move to US, or you move to UK, depend on what essence you want to practice. Yeah, and then you move to the location, maybe after 6 months, after 1 year, you can speak really like a native. Mm.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah. So it actually go back, uh, like what I said just now. It actually need to you need to think from a bigger uh from a bigger fears, or from a higher level, a second level thinking, which is what you really want in your life. Yeah. For example, you say you want to speak like a native. Yeah. If you move to US and live for a year, for a whole year, and you can speak like a native, why don't you give a try?
Yeah.
Why you want to stay in Malaysia and speak with a non-native for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and think that, yeah, in order to speak English well like a native, it required deliberate practice. Yeah, it required me to spend 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. This is a lifelong learning, lifelong process. So I can really speak like a native. I can become uh speak uh more and more like a native. Yeah, but actually you can go to the Western country like US and live for a whole year, and you can really speak like a native.
Mm. Yep.
Mm, yeah. Okay. Go back to our topic, and the first is, I would like to ask whether the spending in the video is accurate to you.
Oh, to me. Um. Firstly, it compares like the fast food and also kind of like those franchise restaurant like Starbucks. And I think for fast food restaurant, it is quite accurate. But for me, I seldom visit a fast food
Mm,
restaurant. But I think the price in Johor will be the same as Kuala Lumpur if we talk about fast food.
mm,
And for um, for glossary, I think maybe there is a little different, but the difference won't be much. I think it's quite similar also. Because we can look at the those online shopping and many things we actually buy from not from the our own state. Is from maybe from Kuala Lumpur. So the price also is kind of like competitive. So for glossary, I think is also quite the same.
yeah. Because in the video it actually compare the big corporations supermarket, right?
Mm.
In the case of Malaysia is EconSafe. Yeah. So because EconSafe operate its business everywhere, so this is a big supermarket, and
Yeah.
the price could have a little bit difference, but the difference will be that much.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. And how about others?
For 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 house and rental, I'm not very sure because it says it is a kind of like a four rooms house, right? It is the rental. I think the four-room house is for buying a house, and then rental is like to rent a studio.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Uh,
And
no, no.
oh,
Uh, okay. Both of them in renting is about the studio, and
mm,
how and then buying is actually about the condominium. Mm. And in KL, the landed house is even expensive. Yeah, if even more expensive than that.
mm, yeah,
Yeah, because uh the YouTube actually compare the price of housing in KL. Remember, it's KL. It's not
mm,
Selangor. It's not other area. It's
yeah,
KL. So KL really is uh, uh, I mean the development is very advanced, and there's no much uh there's no many place, and there's no many lands uh uh for this kind of big cities. So the land is very expensive, and
mm,
there's no the landed house must be very expensive.
yeah,
Take out. So and also in the video, the YouTuber compare the condominium. Mm. And in Singapore, it actually it actually using the government subsidized apartments. But if you are Singaporean, or even you are the PR, if you kind of like more than 35 years old, if you are single, or if if you married, and the requirement is lower, yeah, the barriers is the barriers is lower, maybe 30 years old, like that. And you can have the chance to apply the government subsidized house we
mm,
call HDB.
HDB.
Yeah. And how about the size? The size, not sure. I'm not sure whether the YouTuber include in the video. I forget already. But
Mm,
but the but the size of Malaysia condominium is uh should 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 greater should greater than Singapore HDB. Mm, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I remember it. He did mention about 1,000 square feet. I'm not sure this is for the the rented house.
Mm,
Mm,
yeah. So for me, mm, I think it's quite accurate if you want this kind of lifestyle. But how about if you can downsize your lifestyle? In Singapore, you can like spend lesser. In Malaysia, you also can spend lesser.
mm,
Yeah. So this is what I feel and what I think. And but overall, if we want to compare, yeah, it's right. In Singapore, you can save more money, and also because of the currency is strong. Let's say you want to buy something from Taobao, from like e-commerce,
mm,
maybe from zones. You want to buy the big brands items, the international brand item, for example, smartphones and maybe PC, and then you bought from overseas, and all of these will be cheaper. Yeah, because of the currency strength.
mm,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah, and if you talk about the daily a daily living cost, I think both of them uh, both of the case in Malaysia and Singapore, to me, I mean to me, is a little bit inflate. Yeah, because the lifestyle problem. Yeah.
Mm.
Uh, yeah. So this is how I feel. But the overall is accurate if they want to do the comparison. The conclusion is still hold. Mm, yeah. And how about but this is one of the things. Yeah. And yeah, but we need to know, even though a place, the income high, the spending high, in the country, it doesn't mean that it is a good country to live. It is we also will look at other things. Yeah, of course. You look at like the safety, the kind of like harmoniums. Yeah. But this is not something that I want to say. I want to look deep into the finance. Okay.
Mm.
And how about, let's say, if you already retire, which country you are more willing to live?
Um.
I think both of the case they will choose Malaysia more than Singapore. The first is you don't have income anymore. And how about spending? In Singapore, you need
Mm.
to spend Sing dollar, correct? In Malaysia, you need to spend Malaysian ringgit, correct? Yeah, both is correct. But if you if you convert Sing dollar to Malaysian ringgit, or you convert Malaysian ringgit to Sing dollar, and you make a comparison, Malaysian ringgit, if you stay in Malaysia, uh, the money you need to spend is lesser. And here we are talking about the retirement. So that means, let's say if you are Malaysian, which country you want to choose to retire? Of course, it's in Malaysia. If you go to Singapore, maybe you can't retire. You don't have enough money to retire. And how about for Singaporean? Yeah, they can choose to stay in their home country to retire, but they also can choose to come to Malaysia and retire.
Mm.
Yeah. So if we convert both of the currency to a uh, to a same unit of measurement, let's say like USD, US dollar, and we still can find that Sing dollar, uh, uh, in Singapore, the spending is still higher than in Malaysia. But this is about the currency problem. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But if we consider about the retirement, yeah, most of people will choose to retire in Malaysia, even though some Singaporean also choose to come to Johor to
Yeah.
retire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so this is my sharing for today.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Me too.
Mm. Okay, so that's all for our today conversation. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think of our conversation. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocabulary mistake that we made, please also comment and let us know, because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.